Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to another storytelling session from Atulith Academy. Every strong trainer carries stories not to impress, but to help people think differently. Over the next few minutes, you'll hear real workplace moments turned into learning. As you listen, ask yourself, would this story change how I act at work? Welcome to the Storytelling Challenge. Up now, we have Frida, who is going to take us on this beautiful journey. Over to you, Frida.
Thank you, Radhika. Hello, everyone. I want to share a short story about a conflict that quietly changed how a team worked. When we talk about excellence in the luxury retail segment, we usually focus on what we say to clients, right? But often, what truly shapes this experience is conversations we avoid with each other behind the scenes. And that, my dear audience, matters just as much. So today's story is based on my own experience in a luxury retail store where everything looked refined, yet something important had quietly shifted. This was a high end luxury retail store, strong brand presence, experienced client advisors, and clear service standards. On the surface, everything felt polished: professional conversations, smooth handovers, polite interactions. But behind that elegance, a subtle tension was building between the sales team on the floor and the background support team managing stock, operations, and post sales processes. Now, both teams were under immense pressure, right? Both were deeply committed to excellence. And yet, both were quietly convinced that the other didn't fully understand their reality. Nothing was openly wrong, mind you, no arguments, no escalations. But collaboration had slowly become careful rather than connected. And that is when the conflict surfaced during a particularly busy sales period. A VIP client experienced a delay. Not dramatic, not a complaint. But in luxury, even small delays feel big. Now, behind the scenes, the operations team felt blamed for things that were even outside their control. And on the floor, client advisors felt exposed, standing in front of a client without any certainty. What followed wasn't confrontation, it was courtesy but with distance. Conversations started sounding like this, as discussed earlier, just to clarify responsibility. Per the policy, this falls under. Language then became formal. Documentation increased. Emails replaced conversations. And the store, although still performing, targets still being met, but something else was thinning: the experience for both teams and clients. Trust wasn't broken loudly, though it was eroded quietly. The turning point didn't come from a customer complaint, it came from a pause. Instead of addressing the next operational issue, store leadership asked a simple yet different question: what's becoming harder for you all to say to each other lately? That question changed the room. Sales spoke about standing in front of clients with uncertainty and about absorbing pressure that couldn't always explain. And operations back end team spoke about being contacted only when something went wrong, never when things worked smoothly. And there were no accusations, no defending positions, just impact. Now, that conversation didn't fix everything immediately, but it definitely shifted something essential. The narrative then moved on from us versus them to different pressures, same promise to the client. Here's the key insight from this story. In luxury environments, unresolved conflict doesn't show up as chaos, it shows up as loss of warmth. Politeness replaces partnership, and process replaces trust. In this case, once the tension was acknowledged, something shifted. Communication started earlier, not in reaction. Assumptions were clarified instead of stored. And of course, collaboration felt human again. Now, what this teaches us is simple yet critical. First, service excellence starts internally. How teams speak to each other behind the scenes is exactly what clients will feel on the floor. Avoided conflict doesn't disappear, it reshapes behavior. People pull back, teams protect roles instead of outcomes, and politeness on its own is not aligned. And finally, leadership isn't about removing conflict, it's about surfacing it early before it hardens into silence. And finally, so one of my clear message to all of you today is in luxury retail, or for that matter, in any premium environment, unresolved conflict doesn't damage results immediately, it erodes trust first. And trust is exactly what clients experience, right? So that was me. Thank you very much. Hope you found the story insightful today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Frida. Beautifully narrated. Yes. Over to you, Dipanshi. Would love to know your
Thank
reflection.
you, Radhika. Yes, sure. Uh, Thank you, Frida, for sharing such beautiful story about your experience, which you have experienced in your retail sector, and very rightly said that conflict management is actually very important, be it at any level, be it you are at a leadership role, be it you are in the middle senior level or junior level, anywhere conflict management is actually very important, which you have very beautifully conveyed to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Dipanshi. Over to you, Rahila.
Thank you, Radhika. Hi, Frida.
Hi, Rahila.
As usual, Frida, you were very good, and your story was very insightful. No, I liked it when you said, in premium workspaces, it looks polished from outside, but when you go inside, it's not that way, right? That point was really very good. And teamwork is very necessary. Without that teamwork, it's impossible for us to complete the tasks many a times. One single person cannot do everything, so that teamwork is necessary. And in teamwork, definitely everybody has different thoughts, feedbacks. So we should sit and talk with each other, understand. Unless we don't do that, there will be conflicts. So
True.
first resolving the conflicts and then proceeding for the work is better, because
Right.
without, as you said, you know it doesn't, uh, you said something I forgot, but it leads to a loss eventually.
Oh,
It's
yes.
not noticed in beginning, but
Yeah.
eventually it leads to loss, right? So
Yes.
that's why I feel that initially you should resolve the conflict first
Yeah.
and then proceed further. Thank you.
And generally, in personal or professionally, we always find that the grass is always greener on the other side.
Yes,
So one department will always feel that one's job seems more easier.
yes,
They're doing they're doing aram say they're doing a good job,
uh,
whereas here we are slogging our ass. So
yes,
it's something which is very important.
yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yes, Dipali.
Thank you, Radhika. Hi, Frida.
Hi,
I
Dipali.
simply loved your story, and it was short and crisp. And you really made your point. You really made your point very well. And I can't agree more on the fact that unresolved emotions is not a good thing. Whether it is in a company setup or whether it is for your physical well being, unresolved conflicts will never land you in a positive place. And one more thing which I took from your story was that if you take out the soul from a workplace and that human connection is lost, it's a short way to a disaster. So I really liked it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dipali. Yes, Sujata.
Hi Frida,
Hi, Sujata.
your story was very well put in, and we got the insights clearly. So See, as you said, what I took from you is like only documentation properly done, and following all the procedures mechanically is not enough at all. There should be a human touch, proper communication. Communication shouldn't be a barrier. If any conflicts, internal conflicts is going on, that also needs to be resolved. So teamwork is equally important. uh, all these reflects in the total outcome. So in one way or other it affects the whole productivity, right? So yes, thank you so much for sharing this.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. It was a lovely session, Frida. Very, very insightful. And the flow also was fantastic, like I told before. Uh, and thank you for your reflections, audience. So today wasn't about storytelling as a performance, it was about storytelling as a trainer's tool. Carry these stories forward into your sessions, your conversations, and your facilitation. Thank you, every one of you over here, for showing up with intent. Thank you, Frida. And it's a sign off from Atulith for today. Bye bye.